it's Shay. Welcome back to my channel, and this is my 10-week pregnancy vlog update. So I've got my laptop here, and I'm gonna hopefully remember the things that I like to say in this video. I'm here with my guide dog Prim. I mentioned this in my first video. I am blind, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to make these videos. It's just that I can share information with other blind people about pregnancy and about parenthood as a blind person, but then also share information with the sighted world about the capabilities of blind people, because we are often labeled less capable than we are. You can be a perfectly successful blind parent, and so I hope that you will see that in some of my videos. So 10 weeks, I'm so excited. 2 more weeks have passed and baby is now the size of a prune according to my app. It's cute because the app allows you to change whatever it gives you, like whatever simile or metaphor it's using for the size of your baby. So you can change it to desserts or animals, but I find that the fruits are the most helpful for me in terms of actually imagining the size of the baby, because I feel like they're the most standardized, whereas like a lot of the desserts, I mean there are variations in fruits of course, but a lot of the desserts were like a square of chocolate and you're like, okay, a slice of cake, like that could be any size. So anyway, I have it on the fruits. So we're prune this week and growing fingernails apparently and starting to move, but of course can't feel the baby yet. You can't see my bump, I have this very fluffy sweatshirt on. It's cold here. Our apartment like doesn't have great heating, so I just have been living in this. We're also in quarantine, like hardcore, like level 5 quarantine where I live, so I'm not going anywhere, so I just like exist in this fluffy jacket inside our apartment because otherwise I'd be freezing. So sorry, I didn't really dress up for the occasion. So I have a few categories that I wrote down for this video just to organize things a little bit. So I'm going to talk about my symptoms and kind of how the pregnancy has been affecting my body. Then also aversions, cravings. I was going to talk about a few of my dreams, things I've been considering, and then also some prayers and praise that I've been praying through recently. So yeah, out of breath. That's the first symptom. I mentioned it in the last one and it's not nearly as bad as it had been. One thing I realized is that I just need to recognize I am getting enough breath, and even if I don't feel like I'm getting enough, I always am, and it actually makes it worse if I like freak out and take lots of deep breaths and I just end up kind of hyperventilating. Really struggling to speak today. So the breathing stuff has calmed down a lot, and I found, I said this in the last video as well, that drinking water has been so helpful. The main thing this week has been nausea and headaches and fatigue. I've been hit pretty hard by all of that the last 2 weeks. It's been quite rough. I have a headache now. I've had headaches pretty much all day, every day for a while. So yeah, and the nausea, I don't know, I'm just not really finding that much to help with it. I think tea sometimes helps, and I mean frequent meals help somewhat, but it's hard to know sometimes too, am I hungry or am I just nauseous? So I have a hard time distinguishing those things, because like even if I feel like I might be hungry and then I eat, but then I still feel nauseous. So that's not the most fun. And fatigue as well, just like does not help whenever you feel nauseous and you have a headache and then you're so tired and you're just like, I can't get up and do things. But I was really proud of myself yesterday. I actually like did a project, which I haven't done for a while. I really admire people that work in early pregnancy. I don't know how they do it. Like, I'm very blessed to have been able to take time off during this time because I was unemployed anyway and my husband's working. So yeah, I mean, I've been able to kind of relax a bit more, but I honestly admire people who work because I just don't know how they do it. I don't know how they deal with all the symptoms. Maybe being occupied keeps them more distracted. That could be actually helpful. But yeah, walking I find is helpful, even though I don't necessarily feel like walking. But if I get out and do it, then I think it does help. But yeah, nausea is also contributing to my fatigue because I wake up in the middle of the night a lot and feel really sick, and I can't sleep because I feel really sick. And then it just kind of compounds the problem. So that's been hard, but I've had lots of good friends making offers of help and all that sort of thing, so that's been a blessing. The other things that I've noticed have been mood swings, mostly because like I just would get to a point where I was so tired and so nauseous and having such bad headaches that I was just like, I can't do this, I'm so upset. So I think just like the combination of hormones and not feeling well, you get to a point where you just feel like crying. But otherwise, I think the other symptom that I've started noticing recently is acid reflux, and I heard that is more of a symptom of later pregnancy. So I don't know, I'm kind of hoping that means I'm on the way out of these kind of really early symptoms, but we'll see. One good thing, shinier hair. I've got lots of compliments on my hair from, well, lots, I guess, in COVID times when you're not seeing anyone. I've gotten two, one from my mother-in-law, one from my husband, so that was nice. So yeah, positives and negatives, I mean, it's kind of nice. In terms of my bump, I think it's pretty much stayed the same-ish. I definitely have found that getting in the jeans has been slightly more uncomfortable, just wearing jeans in general. So leggings are more comfortable. I am wearing jeans today, but it's not the most ideal thing in terms of comfort. But my friend gave me a little tip. So apparently you can attach a little, call them a go-go or a hairband or an elastic, I don't know what you call it, but you can attach a little elastic to your jeans to the buttonhole on the button, and so that makes them last a little longer in terms of fitting, and you just wear a long shirt over it. So there's a little tip my friend gave me. Thanks, friend. And in terms of aversions and cravings, so aversions have pretty much been cooked vegetables. I just don't want them at all. I've never really been a huge fan of cooked vegetables, but like I tried to eat cooked like turnip and carrot a couple of weeks ago, and I just was gagging, and I still gag on them. Spicy food also I think is the one thing that I just cannot even think about eating. It just makes me feel so ill. Cravings, I don't really know if these are cravings, but I have definitely wanted them and have been eating them a lot. Grapefruits, baby cucumber, raspberries, bread. I could just exist on those things right now, but I know I need protein, so I'm trying to eat like nuts and meat as much as I can as well. But yeah, I really want that fruit and fresh vegetables. Those are great. I can totally tolerate fresh vegetables, just not cooked ones. Don't know why. I have had some weird dreams, so I have had multiple dreams about having something other than a baby. I think both times it's been a puppy, which, you know, puppies are cute, but I just remember the dream being so sad and so disheartening, because I was just like, but this isn't a baby, and like I thought all this time I was gonna have a baby, so that's really sad. And then the other dream that I had was, well, I've had lots of dreams. The other relevant dream that I've had was about actually having my human baby. So that's the first one I think I've ever had while being pregnant, about like an actual baby. All the other times have been either like animals other than babies, or I've just been pregnant in the dream. So that was exciting. It was a girl. My instincts tell me it's a girl, but I don't know. I mean, I'm happy with either, and my husband thinks it's a boy, so one of us will be right. And I've heard wives' tales say if you have a dream that it's one gender, then you'll have, or one sex, then you'll have the opposite sex. So we'll see. Time will tell. Things I'm considering. Okay, so that was another category I had. Names. We've been talking about names for the last like week and a half pretty seriously, and it's a really good thing we're starting now because my husband and I don't have the same taste in names at all. Like, I feel like pretty much every name I've brought up, he's been like, heck no, and I'm just like, not that every name he brings up I don't like, but a lot of the names that he likes are just like very, very common, and I tend to be, he thinks I'm a hipster. I don't know, I tend to like slightly more creative names maybe, or unusual. So that's been a point of not contention, but you know, we just can't agree, so we'll need a lot of time to come up with options and argue over them for a while, because I think the meaning of the name is also important. So I don't want to just go with a name that we like because it sounds nice. I feel like it would be good to have a really good meaning as well, so that's something. The other thing I'm considering this week is just space and housing. My husband's working from home right now, and our apartment is just, we have a lot of music equipment. There's just a lot of stuff in a small space, and when the baby comes, it's just going to be more stuff in a small space. So I would like to be as minimal as possible with the things that we get, but even then it's going to be cramped. So we're just thinking about, you know, what are we going to do? Are we going to get a bigger apartment that we're going to rent, or are we going to try to buy something, or, you know, we just have a lot to consider. So that's been interesting. Been reading a lot about mortgages and getting advice from people, and there's a lot to learn there. So yeah, but it's good to get started, and hopefully, you know, by the time we're getting toward delivery time, we'll have made some decisions about the path we're going to go down. The last category that I had was prayers and praise. So, oh sorry, just knocked her in the head. She's licking her paws. Prayers and praise. So I guess the main thing that we've been praying recently is just that God would prepare our hearts for parenthood. I think there's so much we need to learn, and just a lot of, I don't know, we want to grow in discipline, particularly with prayer and with Bible reading, and you know, we want to be living a life that will be setting an example for our child, just generally preparing our hearts to raise this child. It's just such a huge responsibility. So the other thing, I guess, is provision. Like I said, space is an issue. We're okay for now, but eventually there will be a space problem. So that's just prayer for provision for that, and then just praise really over God's provision so far. And also just my husband has been so sweet and so understanding, and I didn't expect him to be this, that sounds bad, I didn't expect him to be this understanding and sweet. I honestly didn't, because I mean, he works all day, and why should I would never expect him to want to go in the kitchen then and make dinner, but he's done it so much recently just because I've felt so bad, and it's very humbling for me because, I mean, it kind of makes me feel like I'm not doing my part, and you know, I'm not able to contribute in the way, it hurts my pride essentially. But it's also just amazing to see him, and amazing to see God working through him and serving me in that way, and serving our family, because I mean, it's not just about me, it's the baby, and me being able to rest for the baby when I'm really, you know, down and out, when my body really needs it. So yeah, it's been a joy to watch that, and it's definitely a gift of God, because I know if we were left to our own devices, Andy and I, we would be just at each other's throats all the time, being stressed and tired and stuff. So yeah, that's been really something to praise God over. So I think that's kind of it for this video. Thanks for joining. I'll be excited to see you in the 12-week update, and I'm not sure if then or right after then I will be having my first appointment. So you will hear about my first appointment soon, and I'm very excited to be able to share about that. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye!